Hello and welcome back to another Out of Spec Reviews video. Welcome to another video in our European series, and welcome to the Sono Motors Sion. We're here at the Sono house in Munich to take a look at Sono's electrically powered, solar charged electric vehicle. This is a pre-production prototype. It's still a little bit away from final production, but at least we're going to be able to take it for a drive, show you around this vehicle, and talk about their plans for their production intent model. This is a solar charged vehicle. You can charge it other ways, but this is really what makes this car unique. We'll talk about everything about charging it in a little bit, but this is 25,500 euros, so very reasonably priced. A very spacious 5-seat vehicle. Let me show you just a little bit of the trunk space. We'll go through some stuff and also some technical details. They claim that this lip is going to be a little bit lower on the production version. It's actually just going to slide in, but it's got a very deep underfloor storage in this particular version here. And the reason is this one's front wheel drive, so you don't have any rear motor back here, and for a non-performance EV, that's okay. You know, you can really put a lot of stuff in the rear of this vehicle. There is no front trunk on this particular one, but closing it here, there we go. You can see even a little trailer hitch on this one. I don't know the exact towing capacity, but at least it's going to be enough for a bike rack or something like that. It's very common over here in Europe. Again, being in Munich, this is where I assume a lot of them are going to be sold at first. They're going to be built here. They're designed and engineered here as well. You can see obviously some LED taillights and some other things. That's not the exciting part. Come with me here, because in the sun you'll be able to see it a little bit better. The whole car is covered in photovoltaic cells. You see these all around, and the entire roof as well. Now the roof on this particular one, if you come on in, is a little bit wavy, and that's because this is not the final production version. There's actually another one inside that we can overlay right now. Boop. That has a much smoother roof compared to this particular vehicle. The wheels are final production, they claim. I think they actually look pretty good. It's on Continental tires. It has a Continental motor, so it seems like Continental's been involved in this project a little bit. The solar panels themselves at peak will make about 500 watts of power. They claim even sometimes a little bit more. With all of the solar panels on the car, during your average week throughout the year, you can add about 120 kilometers of driving range, WLTP, on a weekly basis, but during peak summertime, maybe the best of conditions, it can be up over 200, maybe even 230, 240, which is pretty neat. So this is about 5,000, maybe almost 6,000 kilometers of driving range throughout your year if you just park the car outside that you drive for free on the sun, which is pretty awesome. So in terms of spacing, let's go inside. By the way, the car underneath is on its own bespoke chassis for the vehicle, has a 54 kilowatt hour battery. I'm unsure if that's gross or usable, and maybe we'll find out, maybe we won't, but it's not the final production battery. In this particular one we're driving, it should drive the same, but they'll use an LFP chemistry for the final production. Here I am in the back seat. Front seat's pretty far back, tons of headroom. If you can come in here and take a look at this, I have just tons and tons of headroom, plenty of room. You know, this is supposed to be sort of a unenthusiastic transportation device. This is much more not an emotional decision. This is transportation. This is mobility that you can purchase. So it only comes in black. There's no personalization. You buy this car, you drive it around the town, and that's how it goes. However, when most people buy cars, especially in cities, they're only used maybe 95% of the time they're sitting, I should say. So down the line, Sono Motors will have an app. They claim that you can obviously let people ride share with your vehicle and borrow it. My opinion, let's get them on the road first before we go into all this crazy other stuff. So jumping in the front seat is really neat. Come take a look at this. This is wild. There's moss inside. This is the highlight of the vehicle for me because it's the only thing with color. It's the only thing that my eye is drawn to. And this whole car, this is the only interesting piece, I think. You know, it's hard to review this as a car. This is more of a, you know, you would think of this as like a transportation device, right? This is like a train. It's a way to get you from A to B. It's not meant to be exciting or anything like this. It's just it's financially going to be the best way to get your family around town and charge it from the sun, but it's not really an emotional buy-in product. This one being a prototype, you can see big red button here and everything like this, so that's kind of cool. The interior isn't totally final, but it's all really hard, cheap plastics everywhere. I mean, it's not a nice interior. I don't know how to say that any better. It feels like my day is worse sitting inside of this, to be honest, aside from the moss. So you know, I guess it's just different things for different people, but driving around town, this is probably what you're going to be looking for. Here's where the interesting stuff happens up front. Again, every panel exposed has solar cells in the middle. This, I think, is the real key interesting thing about this car, is being able to charge it up as you go. So, you know, if you live in a city, which I've actually experienced here in Munich, we have a few EVs and no home charging, and it is a pain in the butt to have an electric car without home charging. I would say I would never do this. I would drive a combustion vehicle before I had an electric vehicle with no charging solution. But this, you just park it on the street and it charges up as it goes. And because they're using LFP chemistry on the production version, it should be able to sit at 100%. Speaking of the production version, this is the Series 2 round of prototypes. There's going to be another one and then a final production. You guys know I think concept cars are silly. I really don't like to do reviews on these pre-production cars because I think they're not representative. We're not sure if the company will survive. We don't know what the final product is, and that's all true here. But we're doing it because I like the solar cells, and the guys are really nice and they wanted us to make the video, so I'm still showing you. Come around. Here we have AC charging port. It can do 11 kilowatt in and out. This is another unique thing about this car, bi-directional AC charging. So you can actually charge up another vehicle. You can plug this into your house even. See, 1 second for this van to go by. There we go. With DC bi-directional charging, you need a wall box at your house to then convert it to AC and then match your home's load. With this, they claim there will be software to just plug directly into your house. Obviously, there will have to be some sort of communication box, but it will save you having to buy like a home bi-directional charger that right now costs thousands of dollars. This will just output AC. I think that's a really good idea. I like this a lot. There's also, come on in here, a Schuko plug. This is the European, 230 volt standard. This can do, I don't know, 3 kilowatts, something like this. That's to charge it. And then you have your CCS Type 2. They claim about 75 kilowatt DC fast charging speeds, and I guess that's how you close it. There we go. Let's take a look at the driver's seat over here. Door handles, by the way. Come on in here and take a listen. That feels pretty not nice, I think. But inside is cool. This is where the fun stuff happens for me, because now we get into the infotainment screens and the windshield wipers and the light controls. I mean, all this is pretty, it's sourced out from other automakers and things like this. But for the most part, this screen here, you can have your charging current. You can see we have 68 kilometers of range. By the way, the total range on this will be 305 kilometers. WLTP in US, this is probably 230, 240. Has a top speed of 140 kilometers per hour, so more than capable of highway speeds. And, it's like 80 miles an hour, right? So this thing can rip pretty good. And 120 kilowatt motor output, so when you hit the accelerator pedal, it should go pretty quick. We'll find out. Speaking of that, what do you say we get some cameras in the car and we take it for our first drive? Today's video is brought to you by EV Wash. You can see here I'm using the waterless wash solution on the hood of my electric smart car, cleaning it up. Very cool. More cool than what's inside of this bottle is actually the way that you can refill it. Once you run out of your solution inside the bottle, come back here. This is a sustainable washing company, again, branded EV Wash. You take your biodegradable refill pouch that you purchased on their website, fill back up your bottle. It's a lot less expensive and better for the environment than just buying new bottles every time you run out. EV Wash, the link is in the description. Use the code OUTOFSPEC30 for 30% off your full EV Wash kit order. Support the companies that support us for making these videos possible. Welcome inside of the car. I'm with my friend Jacob. What do you do for Sono?
I'm here for the prototype. I'm a prototype manager, and everything happens with this prototype and the other one in the hall.
So this is your baby.
Exactly.
So I will try not to crash it.
Sure.
Okay, but no guarantees, it's possible.
Yeah, but that you signed the waiver.
I signed the waiver, so I just write you a check, I guess, at the end. So we have big stocks here on the side. We have cruise control, we have phone calls and menu controls.
Multimedia and something.
Yeah, and then your shifter and your turn signal.
And wipers, yes.
Yeah, wipers over there. Over here we have 66 kilometers of projected range, 48%, but this is not the production battery.
Exactly.
Right. And we are producing 28 watts on the roof in the shade.
In the shade.
That's nice. So foot on the brake, and how do I drive it?
You mentioned it.
Yeah, do I just pull it down?
Just pull it down and
there we go, into drive. And what does this little symbol mean?
You will see visualized if you hit the
this is
throttle
your power meter?
or your regenerating.
Cool, that's awesome. So we should just head straight then?
Yes.
Okay.
You can hit it hard.
Oh, should we just start with a launch?
If you want.
Of course. So let's just get past everyone here and...
But be careful with the car backing up there.
That's a prototype car.
Yes.
Oh, nice. But not for you.
Nope.
Yeah, this is what happens in Munich. You just see cars everywhere.
It's a BMW, I would guess.
Yeah, it is for sure, because the circle taillights, they all use this. Okay, so once this lady gets out of the way, let's inch up a little bit. And then hopefully the prototype doesn't crash into the prototype.
That would be bad.
That would be a bad day. Okay, but let's at least get a sense of the acceleration, shall we?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, and do you think it's faster if you brake boost it, left foot on the brake,
Nope.
flooring it, so you just slam it down?
Just
okay. Yeah, it goes pretty good.
Yeah,
not bad.
Now it's around this building.
Straight through?
Straight or to left.
No, let's follow the prototype. This is
Yes.
great. We're prototype spotting in the prototypes. And it's, yeah, definitely a BMW of some kind. Small, it's got sensors all over it. That's quite interesting, isn't it? He's got his laptop in there.
Yeah, sure. I'm not sure if they are amused if...
No, they hate it when you film them.
them.
No, they absolutely hate it. But, you know.
But it's on the road, so...
Yeah. It isn't, it's okay.
Yeah, here to left, sorry.
You're fine.
And now we can turn circles around this building or go back and turn on the road.
Oh, we can go on the road?
Not really.
Okay. So we have to stay in this little parking lot.
Yes.
And this is because it's not registered?
It's not road legal, yes.
Oh yeah, it's doing 120 watts on the roof right now.
Yeah.
And then we go in the shade and it drops down.
It's live.
Yeah.
You see it.
So,
We can also click on it.
yeah.
And you see what
the
current
watts,
it is, or
voltage, amps.
and even the area of PV panels. And
Wow, this is pretty neat. So does the steering column adjust at all?
not in this one, but in the series.
In the
yes, of
series
course.
production it will? Cool. So I will say, you know, right off the bat, my impressions of the size. It's the right size of car to haul people around, right?
Absolutely.
You and me, we fit comfortably, we're big guys.
You can
There's room in
easily
the back.
fit us, like a third person with us in the back.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll say the motor, 120 kilowatts, obviously doesn't give it all to you at zero. It feeds in as you go, so we don't know full power, but I would say that felt more than adequate to get it around the city.
Absolutely.
And so 120 kilowatts is a lot, because I've been driving Opel Mach-E and Fiat 500e, and that Fiat 500e is like 87 kilowatts.
Okay,
and the
but it's a little lighter, I think.
Yeah, and the Mach-E is 100 kilowatts even, and this
Okay.
is 20% more.
Yes.
But it weighs about the same. So this is, and that was quick.
We have more than enough power, I think.
I think you do too, so that's good. Brakes are disc all around? Or you use drums in the back?
No, all around discs.
All around discs, that's pretty cool. And you have moss on the inside. What's the reason for this?
Oh, it helps the air to get cleaner.
Right, so
It
this is
supports
used as a
the air
filter.
filter.
Yeah, very nice. And there's a little pass-through so air can come out
Yes,
through here.
exactly.
That's quite nice. And this is still a pretty early production. Obviously, we're not driving it on the street. It's more of a showcase of the vehicle.
Yes.
You know, this is, you know, it doesn't, there's one that does AC charge. We had to pull fuses out of windows to get through a gate. I mean, it's early days, right? It's early days.
Yes.
So what?
And I have seen a lot, like we were on tour through Germany and we drove over 1,000 kilometers on parking lots with the community.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So there are something here and there.
I mean, it's definitely been used. It's done 5,500 test drives, right?
Yes.
This one, this particular car. So I mean, it's really good at going left. I'm like doing NASCAR style here. You know, for
we
me,
can turn it and going around.
well, as an American, I like going left. It's NASCAR. You know, it's part of our culture. Let's make a 3-point turn. So turning radius, is this final production turning radius?
No, I think so.
Okay. So it's kind of interesting for me because we're driving a prototype, and to be totally honest, has almost no relation to the final car. What do you think we will see from this make it to series production?
Of course, the engine.
Okay, so it's the Continental motor that's bought off the shelf. Yep, and so that's good, but you'll work with them on tuning?
Yes, and fine-tuning it with all the software and whatever.
Yeah. What about
the
sound?
Gears, sound?
Yeah, sound deadening, where you put some absorption.
It's absolutely not isolated.
Right.
This car. And of course,
Yeah,
we
so you'll do all
have
this.
to work on it. You can use the straight line to accelerate.
Yeah, I mean, when it gets up to speed, it really, really rips. It's good.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So that's pretty awesome. And 50 kilowatt regen as well. Does it do it just off the accelerator pedal or blending with the brakes as well?
It also blends with the brakes.
Also blends with the brakes. Well, I think that's a really interesting little first drive. That's really a nice experience for sure. What I really think, my personal opinion is, you know, once these get into the hands of consumers, then we'll spend some more time. Then we'll
I would like to.
Yeah, because I think it's, also you use a parking paw, not the electric parking brake to stop the car.
We will have a parking brake.
So you'll use an electric parking brake instead of the parking paw to hold it at park.
I think both.
Oh, both.
In
Interesting.
series.
Yeah. Well, it's probably part of the Continental unit to have the parking function. Very nice.
And we don't have a parking brake right now.
Right. But just to give this a fair overview, this is a car that's meant for people living in urban environments who don't necessarily have access to home charging, or maybe do but want to have solar charging.
Yeah, I mean, it saves money.
Yeah, it saves money, but also convenience. You get back to your car and it's topped up all the time. That to me is the best thing in an urban environment, because you and I were speaking. You know, we brought our car over here. We had to move things to plug it in because we don't have charging at home. But if we had a solar car, we would just park it on the street. I mean, I think in terms of efficiency, in terms of you know, sort of how we can work as a society, I like cars to always be working. And at least, even if this isn't moving, it's working by charging.
Yes.
It's doing something.
And other vehicles can be charged by this.
And there will be an app where you can monitor your solar and things like this. Yeah. I mentioned the vehicle-to-vehicle charging. That to me is just so important and so cool. So
you can also see it live on the phone.
Oh, let me bring this up to a camera really quick. So you can see here it shows 82 kilowatts on the roof, or sorry, 82 watts, 82 kilowatts. We'd be exploding.
Crazy.
We would be on fire. Yeah, so 81 watts on the roof, and you know, it's matching perfectly with here in the car. I think you've come a long way. As a prototype manager, what do you think left is needed to make it to series production?
What is needed to make it to series?
Yeah, obviously the car needs refinements.
Yes,
no question. It's a lot of refinements. It needs to have, you know, obviously production grade everything put in. You know, finalizing of suppliers, of manufacturing processes.
Yeah, we are on it right now.
Yeah, of course.
We have the series next month.
So next month, everything has to be in and it's locked.
Yes.
And then you can focus on how you're going to produce it.
And then it's just details you can change.
Yeah, well, that's exciting.
Yes.
But it must be quite stressful. Yeah. Because everyone's trying to get in there last minute.
And not for me, because I'm not building
and
engineering the next car. I'm just here for the prototype, for the build one.
Yeah, but what do you think? Your colleagues are probably working pretty hard. Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for watching another Out of Spec Reviews video. Thanks for checking out the Sono Sion. That's how I say it, right?
Exactly.
And I really am so excited to see a series production model of this come. Of course, when it does come, we'll try and meet back up with it next time we're in Europe. Maybe we'll do some solar charging testing with it. We'll try and get really... Do you think it's possible to charge this with a really bright spotlight?
Yes.
It's not efficient, of course.
No, not at all.
But it would be a fun test to do.
We had it once, installed like 4 spots.
Oh, really?
2000 watt each.
Yeah.
In a hall, and it was about 8 watts on the screen.
So like less than 1%. Maybe way less. 0.1. That's crazy.
You have to use more spots.
So the sun is better than spotlights, because that's free energy.
Of course.
Until someone starts to regulate the sun. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.